Chidiebere, please take us back to the scenes over there in Jos, from the planning to the final whistle, and how would you access the overall organization of the 27th NUGA Games in Jos? I need you to tell us, not coming from that communication angle, but looking at the overall overview of the games, how would you access it?
We go basically from the analysis we get from participants, and it's been one of pleasure, taking opportunities, and so for some of the athletes, missed opportunities. But generally, the planning was as affected by most things that has to do with sports. You overcome them, and then you move on to what's possible. But we are glad it is the first time that University of Jos or even Plateau State is hosting the NUGA Games in its history. So for a first version, it was quite good. Jos has one of the best weathers, meaning that outdoor events were not extremely hot, neither were the evening events cold, that they were not able to happen. So I think if there was a particular location in Nigeria to hold the games at this time of the year, it's definitely here in Plateau State. And the competition was fierce. The rivalries were renewed, and it shows how far university sports is coming, that a private university is able to, go on and become the champions. That's not happened in a very long time. But in the last 5 years, we've seen the likes of Now University, Benson Idahosa University, Afe Babalola coming in, winning medals, and this year, just an exceptional performance from Benson Idahosa University to win the title.
All right, Chidiebere, it's a good thing that we have these pictures rolling up right now, because I'm wondering why we should have written tags, the names of this university being written on a board like that, written in that manner and not printed out, like the last years that we've seen being hosted by LASU and also UNILAG. But I'll keep that question. You get to answer that. So
no, I can
answer
go
ahead.
That right
yeah, go
away.
ahead.
Part of what we do at NUGA is to involve the community.
Okay.
So what better way to involve the primary school and secondary school around the university than to give them the privilege of being the ones to write the names of the universities that are coming to the games. So that was done by kids who are looking forward to being university students in the future.
Okay, I would have preferred it to be carried by kids, the particular kid who wrote that. That would have been more beautiful. But let's look at the systems.
Those things are quite heavy.
All right, so the placards will be carrying them and not them carrying the placards. All right, I get that one. Let's look at the systems or the decision that was most crucial in delivering a smooth tournament there in Jos. What decision was made or were made?
It's very important that every NUGA Games we continue to try to ensure that we have the right athletes, because if we are positioning ourselves to be the the point where the national federations, the National Sports Commission gets to see its best athletes in the right age group, then we have to make sure that those who are participating are actually university students, and that they are, in the right age grade and they in the right competitions that they have been registered for. So Jos was a very strategic location. The essence of NUGA is to ensure that the whole of Nigeria gets to experience it, because NUGA Games does not just come with sports, it comes with economic value, it comes with cultural exchanges, and we've been to the southwest, we've been to the southeast, we've been to the northeast. North Central was a location where, especially Plateau, somewhere we've never been. So Jos was quite a strategic location to position these games at this time, and hopefully when we move on to the next venue, it will be as exciting as well.
Edition produced major surprises. Yes, private university picking this one ahead of Jos, of course, having to dent UNIJOS' dominance, over a decade dominance for the NUGA Games. From Benson Idahosa University ending over a decade long of UNIPORT's dominance, to UNIJOS even topping the medal haul, because you could see that they garnered a lot of medals, finishing with a lot. might not have enough golds to finish overall, but at least they finished with the most medals in the competition, 50 in all. So what would you say, Chidiebere, were the biggest gains and standout moments of this year's games, both competitively and administratively, coming from your vintage point?
Well, one athlete who should hold her head high is the swimmer. I'm losing her name right now. From Benson Idahosa University. She had a haul of 9 gold medals by herself. In swimming, and that was what propelled Benson Idahosa to the title. Hope Udoka, also from Benson Idahosa, won, I think, 4 gold medals in table tennis. She is a national team player, of course, so it was just natural that that happened. UNIJOS were hosts, mainly participating in all the events, so of course their medal hauls went up, but it showed how prepared they were, because sometimes host universities get carried away trying to prepare for the games, that they don't focus on their athletes. But UNIJOS try to do that. They usually win medals at the NUGA Games, but not at this volume. So for us, it shows that you can actually do both. Administratively, we cannot come out here and tell you that we didn't have struggles, because of course, the National Sports Commission is just beginning to pay attention again to university sports, which is one thing we're particularly grateful about. There was always the would it happen, would it not happen, the funding with this, the funding with that. But the Vice Chancellor of the university took it upon himself to literally go everywhere to source for funds. There are new facilities that are at the University of Jos right now, which is part of the benefits of hosting the NUGA Games. The state government of Plateau State were exceptional. At the opening ceremony, the governor himself was there. At the closing ceremony, the deputy governor was there. So it showed the commitment that the state of Plateau showed towards this game, the importance it was for them. And of course, we had a few conversations. If you have time to go through our social media pages, we spoke to some of the people who were residents of Jos, who brought their wares, their businesses to transact while the games was going on. And you could tell how happy they were, the economic value that these games had. Of course, we had multinationals, companies who were part of the games as well. So for us, it is categorized as a success, because this is the essence of the games.
Okay, every major tournament brings lessons, Chidiebere, you know that. We would like to know what were the biggest challenges for you that you encountered in this organization of the NUGA Games, and how is NUGA planning to build on the successes gained in Jos as we look ahead for the next games in Calabar?
Okay, so one of the issues we had with the games, apart from funding, because I believe that cannot be overemphasized, on the need for early funding for these events. How are we being captured in the national budget, in the ministries that are appropriate to university sports? That cannot be overemphasized. Of course, early budgeting is very essential. Another angle is re-educating our university administrative staff on athlete accreditation, because we had a lot of issues with people. Oh, my athletes were supposed to run in the 100, but they were only registered for 200, which I think that story should be familiar to you.
Yeah.
But it's a situation where it's what you have put in the system that would reflect in the races or in the competition that your athletes would run. So what we have taken away from this is that we realize that there should be a re-education for those who are in charge of those administrative functions, and make the technology for the accreditation a little bit simpler, so that people can navigate them without having issues. Because other than that, and of course, early preparations, I think the major struggles was just making sure that the right athletes were in the right places, which is what we have been doing since 2022, working with JAMB and making sure that every athlete who steps foot on any pitch, any court in the NUGA Games is a bona fide university student qualified to compete.
Okay, now of course I represent Lagos State University, and I can see that they are part of the top 10 there in the final standing of the NUGA Games. Chidiebere, tell us where you represent.
I will decline to answer.
All right. Okay, I'm sure that the network has even helped you at this time, because the network just had that glitch when we were about to get what you represent, what university you represent.